Warning, portions of this video will not be considered family friendly. Viewers' discretion is advised. Okay, seriously, use headphones if you're in public because I'm gonna drop a lot of F-bombs. Seriously, if you don't like swearing, please click out of this video because I'm going to do it a lot. Hi YouTube, it's Kathy. Most likely you've seen the title of this video, so you know what this is. However, you don't know that I have decided that I'm going to use something that I love from my friend's channel. Zoe's All Book, she recently rebranded. I love this thing she does, where she counts every time she says the word fuck. So we're using the fuck counter, which honestly just means that editing Kathy is going to be laughing her ass off the whole time. So this is my Fuckathon TBR. Fuckathon was created by Noria over at Noria Reads, and it's all about saying fuck you to systemic oppressions. There are a list of different ideals that we would like to say fuck you to, and I've picked a book for every single one of them. I should mention that I am crossing my fingers that I'm going to be able to read every book on this list because some of them are going to have to come from my library, from the digital services, and if somebody else snaps them up before I take them out of the library, I might be SOL, I might have to fucking choose something else. Firstly, I should mention that there is a group book. You don't have to read it if you don't fucking want to, but I'm going to try my best to get it from my library. That book is The Source of Self-Regard, Selected Essays, Speeches, and Meditations by Toni Morrison. I'm really fucking ashamed to say I've never actually read any Toni Morrison. From my understanding, she's huge in the North American literary world, and I've just never gotten around to reading her stuff. So that will hopefully fucking end here. On to the prompts. Firstly, we're gonna say fuck ableism. Fuck people looking down on other people that have disabilities, invisible or otherwise. For this, I've chosen a book that's the first in its series, and that's A Curse So Dark and Lonely. This is a fantasy YA novel. One of the main characters has cerebral palsy. I am here for it. Mostly because I've watched booktubers with disabilities read this book, talk about this book, say that they loved this book for the rep. Since they talked about it, that made me infinitely more interested. Apparently this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I don't know that I've actually ever read one of those on purpose, but I guess that this is the time to do it. Next, to say fuck ageism, I'm starting another series because apparently I hate myself and just want to start all of the series that I'm never gonna finish. That's The Darkness by Ragnar Johansson, which is the start of the Hidden Iceland series. Also, as a side note, you guys should know by now that I fucking hate going into books knowing everything about them ahead of time, so really I just look for books that fit these prompts. There's actually a wonderful fucking Google Doc that actually has a bunch of different books listed for all of the prompts for the readathon, so I'll make sure to link that down below. However, what I do know about this is our protagonist is a 64-year-old woman who's being forced into retirement, and I believe it's like a cop drama type thing, and it takes place in Iceland, and I'm excited for it. Next, we're going to say fuck capitalism with a book that's been on my TBR for a really long time, and that's The Weight of the Stars. I've been so fucking excited to get to this, and I have no idea why I haven't already. I know this is going to make me cry, because Julie from Pages of Pens cried her fucking eyes out when she read it. I know that other people are really enjoying it. Noria currently has been talking about it in Quarantine Pages, so I know I want to get to it. It's all well and good, Kathy, but what the fuck's it about? Let me find out for you. From Goodreads, we have Ryan Bird dreams of traveling across the stars, but a career in space isn't an option for a girl who lives in a trailer park on the wrong side of town. From those two sentences, I already know why this is on the fuck capitalism list. From there, she goes on to meet a friend whose mother is an astronaut, and I'm very excited for this. Next, we have Fuck White Supremacy, and for this one, I'm rereading Me and White Supremacy. I'm saying rereading because I literally just finished listening to the audiobook of this, and I've decided that I'm going to reread it at least once a year. In fact, I'm doing a reread of it for the first 28 days of the Fuckathon, aka the first 28 days of July, because Fuckathon, if I didn't already mention, is all of July. So if you're white and you need to check your white privilege, you should fucking join me. The Twitter for that readathon is @DoTheWorkWhites, and you can fucking bet that will be linked down below. This started out as an Instagram challenge by the author Fuck you, computer. This started out as an Instagram challenge by the author and then grew into being this book, an audiobook. I highly suggest you get it from your library or from wherever you can find it. I listened from my library. I immediately bought it on Kindle. I'm going to get a hard copy as soon as I can because I'm going to be reading it every year. The thing to note about this book and why we're taking 28 days to read it is it is set up into 28 different chapters that you basically have to reflect upon. There are journal prompts for you to reflect on every single topic in this book. Every single chapter is a different topic. And I didn't do that this time around, mostly because I was listening to it and I wanted to have a good first pass before I sat down, did one chapter, did all of my prompts. I'm going to do the work, and I highly implore everybody else who is white or white passing to also do the fucking work. All this swearing and lights is making me really fucking hot, but I also didn't put on a bra today, so I don't really want to take off my sweatshirt. Next we're saying fuck religious intolerance, and for this I plan on reading All-American Muslim Girl. This is a book that I've been meaning to get to. I even had the hold come in from the library and wasn't able to read it when it came in, because you know how things just all like to come in at the same time, because that's not fucking annoying. So this book is about Allie, who's apparently got a lot of things going for her. She's a straight-A student with good friends and a close-knit family, and she's dating a cute popular guy. However, that cute popular guy's dad is a shock jock, and the guy she's dating doesn't realize that her family is Muslim. Saajid, my booktube grandson, highly suggests this book. That's why it's on my list, and that's why I'm going to fucking finally read it. Next we have fuck book elitism, and the way that Noria described this one is kind of like, fuck the people that say you can't read the trash that you want to read. You should be able to read whatever the fuck you want to read. And I'm taking it in a slightly different way, and I'm saying fuck book elitism in terms of people who turn their noses up at indie publishing. I think that most people have been in the place where they hear a book is an indie book and they go, oh, independently published, that means it's going to be full of grammatical mistakes and it's not going to be good, and that's just some bullshit. Because sometimes books are fucking published independently because big time publishers won't touch them because they're fucking racist. So when a queer Brazilian American slipped into my DMs and said, hey, I just published this book and I think you would enjoy it, I said, fuck yeah, I'm gonna read that. It's called The Legendary Shiver, and it's about the rise and fall of celebrities. It's about these two characters, Will and Ruby. Will is kind of shy and awkward, mostly because he moved back to America after being in Brazil for a very long time and has an accent and hasn't really made friends. And Ruby comes to his school one day and they become friends, and she has this dream of going to New York and being a singer, and it's going to be all about that. So far it had a really fluid writing style in terms of where the characters are and what the setting is and those types of things, so I'm interested to see how it goes from there. Don't you hate it when your fucking camera turns off in the middle of fucking filming? Next we're saying fuck gentrification by reading Pride by E.B. Zaboy, which is a Pride and Prejudice retelling that takes place in Brooklyn. Listen, if you've been here a while, you probably know I don't give a fuck about classics. I tend not to read classics because the vernacular is difficult and usually there's a lot of problematic shit in there and I often don't get the humor and all that type of thing. However, retellings, I can fuck with some retellings. For whatever reason, I usually end up really loving retellings, so I'm excited to get to this. And finally, our last category is fuck slut shaming. People can like to have sex, people can want to have sex as long as it's consensual, you're enjoying yourself, all of those things. That's fucking great. For this, I'm going to read my first fucking Tessa book, and that's The Duchess Deal. I honestly just picked this because it's on the recommended list and because it seems weird that I haven't read any Tessa yet, because I know that's a big name in the romance world. It's also the first in the Girl Meet Duke series, so if I end up enjoying it, you know I'm gonna want to continue. Okay, I just did something I don't usually do, which is read the full synopsis, and I'm intrigued. I'm gonna read it to you. Here we go. Since the return of the war, the Duke of Ashbury's to-do list has been short and anything but sweet. Brooding, glowering, menacing London ne'er-do-wells by night. Now there's a new item on the list. He needs an heir, which means he needs a wife. When Amok Gladstone, a vicar's daughter turned seamstress, appears in his library wearing a wedding gown, he decides on the spot that she'll do. His terms are simple. They will be husband and wife by night only. No lights, no kissing, no questions about his battle scars. Lastly, and most importantly, once she's pregnant with his heir, they will never share a bed again. But Emma's no pushover. She has a few rules of her own. They will have dinner together every evening, with conversation and unlimited teasing. Lastly, and most importantly, once she's seen the man beneath the scars, he can't stop her from falling in love. I am so fucking here for this. There is technically one other prompt, and that's fuck yourself, which is do something selfish and just for you this month. I haven't decided what that's going to be, but I decided that there is another book that I want to add to this list, and it falls under the category of fuck fat phobia. For this unofficial prompt, which I think was actually a prompt last year, but I didn't do Fuckathon last year, I'm going to read The Other F Word, a celebration of fat and fierce. This is the definitive collection of art, poetry, and prose celebrating fat acceptance, and I'm fucking here for it. I was mostly dying to add this to this list because I actually got a copy of this in a book swap that I did this month, so I just wanted a reason to put it in there and to shove it in everybody's faces because I'm very excited about it. And there we have it! Are you participating in Fuckathon? And if so, what are you reading? Let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. A few people have asked me recently if there's a way to support me, so I set up a coffee account. This is an account where you can give me a tip, basically. Kind of like buying me a cup of coffee. If you're so inclined to do so, the link to do that is down below, as well as the link to my Amazon wishlist. You can fucking like and share this video as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!